Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Pop Podcast, where clarity changes everything. My name is Claudia, and I go by the Light Guide.
And I'm Barbara DiMasi, founder of Barbara's Wellness.
And I'm Dima Bosco, and I go by Dima Bosco.
We love that.
Welcome, Dima. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you for inviting us to Common Ground Yoga in Framingham, Massachusetts. It's so exciting to be here all together.
Such a beautiful space.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Common Ground, for hosting us.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful studio, and I teach here on Monday mornings.
You teach on Monday mornings. What time do you teach?
9:30.
Oh, and what do you teach? Because I know that there's like so many different types of yoga.
Yeah. So I started out teaching just regular yoga, vinyasa yoga, hatha yoga, and it slowly just began to transform into something new, which I couldn't explain at the time. And it included different movements that felt like releasing to my body, and like some of them included like shaking. There was a lot of like spiraling and movement, kind of like belly dancers would do with their arms. And at the time, I thought I was just dancey. And over time, it just became very clear that these were specific tools that were coming into the world to help release tension, trauma, energetic blockages from the body. And they progressed over time to become the S's. And so I've given them a start with the letter S so that people can remember them.
Oh, how cool.
And
so that
Tell us
people
the
can
S's.
actually use them. So some of the S's include, actual movement, and others include like pausing for soothing the nervous system. And so
How many S's are there?
actually, honestly, they can be like an infinite amount of S's.
Oh my God.
As they come through people intuitively.
So like
But the ones that have come through me that people seem to resonate with and they can expand are like shaking is one of them. So I can show them to you guys.
So it might be
if you
hard
want.
because the camera won't catch it. We're going to do that in a separate segment and include them in.
Okay, that sounds great. So they're shaking, which includes wrists, elbows, and shoulders.
We did it right before starting and it felt so good.
And what it actually, just to tell, the listeners, what actually was going on within me is there was a lot of nervousness because of the podcast, and I have never done a podcast before. So you suggested that we do some of the movements, and as soon as we started doing them, the energy shifted. I felt better. Everybody else felt better. And it's like, so shaking is one of them. We did a lot of spiraling. So we do that around the joints, including also the legs and the knees and the hips. We do some springing where there's this rebounding that happens that really, really helps soothe the nervous system. Another S is sounding, because ultimately, eventually at some point, the breath starts to move a little bit more actively, and sound wants to come out because we have had a lot of repression around our throats, chakras, and heart spaces. Wow. So this wants to start coming out. It's probably going to sound really loud on the microphone.
That's okay.
It's adjustable,
so
it's
this
fine.
And lots of kind of releasing through the throat. Also, any sounding, like in my dance classes and movement classes, there's different sounds that I welcome, as long as they're not going to be scary to the group. Just to let some of that tension release energetically. Sounding is one of them. There's striking. It's really tapping.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give it like the letter S, that the bigger muscles can take a good amount of hitting with the fist, but the smaller places can be a bit more gentle around the jaw, around the face, tapping on the head center, around the neck.
Yeah.
So again, it's all about going back to your own direct experience and listening to the cues of the body
Yeah.
to follow what the next S is going to be. Having a few S's in your head is a good start.
It is a great place to start.
Another one is soothing. So that one is like you place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and provide a little bit of compression. And there, it's kind of like this hug or swaddle. And it's like holding, you know.
Even just you showing
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
me feel calmer, right? Totally.
Yeah, and so when people do that, you know, like, you know, when I lead meditations, when I lead different things, you know, I invite people, and, you know, I learned that through the gene keys, through Richard Rudd. Richard Rudd has brought us constantly to the belly, to hold the belly as we are contemplating these gene keys. And gene keys is a whole other incredible,
Universe.
wonderful universe. Ancient wisdom that we can have a whole other podcast about.
Absolutely.
Maybe inviting Richard Rudd would be
Why not?
incredible. Yeah.
Right. But something that is a thread through everything you just talked about, and a common thread between all of us, is embodiment. And we all three work with the body in a very interesting way, which is why I thought it would be so cool to have us all here. But you are the definition of embodiment. Do you have a definition of it, for it? It's like such a buzzword. What does it mean? I think we could make it mean something different for each of us. But like, what does it mean for you?
I'm curious. You said you are the definition of embodiment, and I'm curious, like, what do you see?
I see that you're very connected to the way that you feel, that you're very wise about your body, that you ask yourself a lot of questions, that you take the time to feel. I think embodiment has a lot to do with feeling versus thinking.
Yeah. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for noticing that. When I first began this journey, I didn't even know what embodiment was. I was trying to ascend. I was trying to just know the truth, and honestly, to get out of this like human experience that's incredibly painful. And I was trying to do that, but then over time I realized there was no way out, that the spiritual experience is truly about embodiment, because it's like kind of this like 360 degrees return back to the body. You need to understand that there is more than just the physicality. Then that understanding needs to be embodied in this lifetime in order for it to fully emerge. And in my case, the understanding of it is that it's about being intimate with your direct experience of that like living presence that is infinite and ever present.
Absolutely.
And to also welcome the parts of ourselves that we have judged, that we have exiled, that we have kind of disliked, to bring them all into coherence within us.
Yeah.
So that they are not in conflict with one another.
Yeah.
So it's a combination. Embodiment, I would say, like in my experience, has been a combination of awakening to the truth of our being, which is love and a peaceful awakeness that is within this lived experience, as well as healing the places within us that have had difficulties due to the human experience.
Yeah. And I think something that comes up a lot when you teach about the S's that I had experienced in the past is fear. I'm afraid to shake and look weird.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to make a sound
Yeah.
and sound odd. Who's going to look at me if I make that sound? Even in the safe space that you create, right?
Absolutely.
Like I've come a long way inside of that, and I don't have as much fear around it anymore. But inside the container that you create, I push that, and I'm like, ooh, that's different. I'm like, I'm not ready to roll around on the floor, you know, and like you're in it, and it's so beautiful to watch because you give that permission, right?
Yeah.
But I think like the biggest lesson I've learned from your work for me is my edge of fear.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah.
So.
Thank you for that observation. Fear has been my companion as far as I can remember. And even now, it is present within my body. I can feel this shakiness, while at the same time holding it with that quiet presence in the background and within all things.
I think that's the name of the game.
And if you hold the two together, the two polarities in the same space, this knowledge came from my beautiful friend and guide, Thisa Sophia, who has taught about this beautiful formula of bringing presence together with the difficulty and holding it within this like somatic awareness.
Yeah.
And then as we bring the two together, some alchemy happens. And when the alchemy happens, it becomes something new and we transform.
Wow.
And I mean, this is how we feel.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are being told, you need to feel your feelings.
But what are they?
But then what are they? So the fear has been with me all along, and I have learned, and I've hated it for a very long time, and I've pushed it away for a very long time, and eventually it has become the element that has helped the growth. It is the raw material for the alchemy to happen.
Can we just say that again? Fear is the raw material for the alchemy.
Yeah, it's like this,
Okay.
this again from the alchemical teachings of the gene keys. This lead that turns into gold. And so when you bring the two polarities, when you bring the incredible infinite awareness and deepest silence that is present within all things, and you have access to that, and then you bring this fear or this anger or this shame or this jealousy or hatred or whatever it is, and you hold it in love, it transforms.
Absolutely. And I think that you are quite a master, may I say, at identifying feelings, emotions, feelings within the body.
Well,
Yes.
because my expertise is to tap the inner wisdom of the person.
The inner wisdom that you were just talking about, right?
Yes. And then
Yeah.
just bringing that forward into the consciousness so they can see it on paper.
And I gotta say, that alone gets people in the direction of healing.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
It's like this week has been a week of so many clarities and so many pops from you
Yeah,
identifying
tell me about
those things. Like it's like instantaneous, right? Because there's freedom.
Yeah. Well,
There's
because
freedom.
not everyone is going inward and getting in touch with themselves,
Yeah.
honoring that. So some people need help drawing that out.
It's
Absolutely.
hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. And that's why people, could use some guidance, some formula, some map to follow, right? Like I went and I spent
You
like
always say
a map.
I want the map.
Just the
Where's
map. And so what I have to
Yes.
offer is a very simple map
nice.
for somatic awareness.
Yeah.
And for also movement that will help release tension. So the sitting on its own, to tell someone who's traumatized to sit in meditation right away is
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
extremely traumatizing.
Yeah.
So when I first started meditating, I couldn't sit. And then, like, I would go into anxiety attack, and then I would get up just naturally because I worked with this incredible teacher and guide, Cynthia Kramer, who taught me some of these tools way back when. She would just tell me to shake, shake. And she would just say, okay, just come back to the body, just feel your butt on the chair, feel your butt on the chair and your feet on the ground, and breathe, you know? And I wasn't like going and doing trauma work with anyone. I was just seeking awakening, but I couldn't sit down. So these tools are necessary sometimes before we can sit still.
Yeah.
And then there is a map that can tell you to attune, show you how to attune to silence. And silence is not the acoustic silence. It is this ground of being that I'm speaking of, this living presence that we can tap into when we are calm in our nervous systems. Once we find this calm, and it can be accessible really quickly, like you just right now, like feel your feet on the ground, everyone. Place a hand on the heart, a hand on the belly. Connect with your breath. Keep feeling the feet on the ground and the butt on the chair. Notice that the earth is not moving, that it is stable. Notice the felt sense of your experience in your belly, in your heart space. You might rub the belly a little with the hand. As you breathe. And so the beginning formula is just earth, body, and breath.
And it takes seconds, right? It doesn't, like, I think that a lot of us think that, like I mentioned one time, journaling, you know, we think of journaling as like pulling out this huge tome of putting it on the table and poof of dust comes out, you pull out your quill pen. And I think that a lot of the times we think that connecting to our bodies or meditating has to be like, now I have to sit on a hard chair, that's uncomfortable. You know, like it could just be putting your feet on the ground for a second, bringing your hand to your heart and your belly and taking a few deep breaths. Like it's really that simple.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And you know, if to tell someone that who has had trauma around being a toddler, about having to sit on a chair and not being able to move, or like when you go to school and they make you sit up and not move, and think if you have trauma around that, you're not going to be able to sit down and do this. That's where the somatic tools come in.
Right.
And that's where like a lot of the, you know, the striking and the belly and the sounding and the release, so that we can let that energy that has been like repressed.
That's a great word.
Be able to release itself, to have liberation.
So for people who don't know, can you explain a little about the somatic experience? Some people don't know what that is.
Right.
Somatic experience is the felt sense in the body. Like, what does it feel like to have feet?
Oh, okay.
To have hands? And a lot of people can't go there because like we live from the neck up. So honestly, it takes time. But once it clicks, it's like really fast, you know, once it clicks. And so people need to practice, people need to commit to a practice. And honestly, there is no other way, there is no way out. There's no way out of suffering, there is no way out of pain, there is no way out of this human experience unless we come home to the body. We heal the parts of us that have been exiled, that have been repressed. We allow our feelings to be felt. We learn how to feel our feelings through sensations and energy movements. We learn how to process somatically, like through the felt sense, through breath, earth and body sensations. And then over time, we access a deep, deep calm.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm referring to when I speak of the living presence, of the quiet presence.
Yeah.
We access this frequency that once you reach it and you start glimpsing it, all you have to do is access 1% of it and then keep directing your attention to it while holding the activity, we call it, as part of that formula that I spoke of with the Blue Lotus work and Thesa Sophia. So this activity is being held with complete lack of movement, something that is constant, ever present. And it holds it and until there's alchemy.
So I listened to this really cool speech from, I don't know if it was Cambridge University. And the teacher in it, the professor, says that that field is in constant movement all the time. He had a visual of the field that you're talking about, the frequency, and it's all waves moving in all these different directions all the time. And we have to sort of like connect ourselves to it the way that you were talking about. So we have to like center ourselves enough to be able to, and I can do it right away, like pick up that field.
It's a field. Rumi spoke of the field.
Yeah.
There is a field,
Yeah.
beyond right doing or wrong doing.
Yeah.
I'll take you there.
Oh, it's such a cool quote.
Yeah, when the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, the infinite presence that we can eventually get access to when our nervous systems are regulated.
Right.
And if I can do it, everybody can do it. I come from very deep, strong background of trauma and PTSD, and there's a lot of things that I used to talk about all the time, which all had to do with trauma. And now that I have, discovered that unique expression that we each have that lives within that quiet presence, there is the trauma. It can still be there, but that isn't the essential thing. The essential thing is finding our way back home. This expression that has never, ever not existed. It is ancient, and each one of us is going through this lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes where this expression is having another unique experience in order to learn, to grow in this earth school. And once, we learn, then there is a little bit more embodiment and a little bit more embodiment, and it goes on forever.
As long as we're here.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to also appreciate my experience with your work because it spoke to me directly when I came, and we identified through your advanced technology that is really incredible with the muscle testing, and you can speak a little more about that, but to tell me specifically which emotion is affecting my ailment, and to tell me specifically which organ is holding it, to direct my attention to that specificity informed, because I already had the tools. So it informed me where to go and where to focus on while I was doing the alchemy work.
There you go.
And then coming to you and having your intuition tap into these places and doing like so much clearing before I even had to tackle the issue. Like it's almost like it gave me 10 steps forward to do the work, with
Cleared the field.
and this thing that worked together so beautifully. Like, we can't, as our egos claim it, this is a life, this is the field that is, as people become more coherent and become attuned to it, coherence begins to draw coherence.
It
Mhm.
does.
Yeah,
And it brought us together
Absolutely.
so that we can become even more coherent. And look at us now, we are recording a podcast together.
Isn't that so
Mhm.
cool?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that people who might have not seen our podcast before, you mentioned Barbara's advanced technologies. Do you want to explain a little bit about it so that it's not so nebulous and it's actually like more science than like, what is this thing?
Well, so I have a machine that I use through the meridian system and the acupuncture points, I'm able to access information from the body.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. And then I use it the way that maybe chiropractors use muscle testing
Yeah.
to then get information, like you said, find the emotions that are the driving factors to somebody's issues. So they know exactly what to release to then start the process of healing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So do you mind if we talk about that a little bit?
Please. No, I would
Do you
love to.
remember what organ and emotion it was that Barbara picked up on?
Yeah, we had a couple of sessions. The first session, you told me that there was doubt, and it was also, and the organs that was associated with the doubt was, I believe it was my jaw. No, the boredom. The boredom was associated with my jaw. And the boredom, because and then this is where contemplation comes in. So this is where the gene keys come in and the art of contemplation. It's like meditation is when you have to sit and focus on something and just kind of remain. Contemplation is when you allow your mind to kind of like, you provide it with a little container and you allow it to kind of contemplate the question. And so what I did is I held my jaw in my awareness and all the activity there. In this case, the activity was tightness, clenching. So I attuned to the sensations. At the same time, because I had had practice in accessing stillness, silence, the field, presence, I brought that in as well as I breathed and continue to just soften the body, soften the chest, soften the belly, soften the arms, the legs, and just lying down. And it's the somatic meditation that we use, And over time, things started to shift in that area, and I didn't have to truly understand what the doubt was.
Exactly.
But what it led to eventually is doubt became something else that had to do with doubt. And boredom. Boredom became something else. It became like this addiction to intensity.
Mm-hmm.
And that as soon as there was an intensity, it was like, what do I do with myself
I
now?
tell people all that.
And it's like, I'm going to clench because it's scary.
I tell people that all the time. I said, you don't know the difference between peace and boredom.
Yes.
Because people are addicted to intensity and stress.
Right.
And if you are not in that, you think you're bored. You think that there's something missing. It's a big deal. It's a big distinction.
Yeah, and also we had something to do with the digestion and the emotion there. I can't exactly remember, but that's because it has alchemized.
That's amazing.
It's gone.
That's amazing.
I haven't had an update on that.
And
so
not to say that we need to get rid of emotions, because we can't go in with that attitude of trying to get rid of something.
But how about digesting them?
Integrating them, holding them in love. We are not going to heal until every part of us, every sensation, every emotion is accepted into love, into love. So
I also think that we have this falsehood of perfection. We have this falsehood that we have to be in perfect health all the time.
Oh, yes.
That if we aren't, there's something wrong. And we're rarely in perfect health. Like
or always happy,
right.
or always peaceful. And that's just not natural. That's not nature. Nature doesn't act like that. That is not nature.
Right.
Nature, tides ebb and flow, right? I mean,
cold and hot and
totally.
you know, bare trees full of leaves. Like,
Yes,
there's
exactly.
yeah.
So change and feeling different or being different, that is more natural. So these constant states that we try to get in is just a way to control our environment.
Right.
But you could just be in the flow of change. Something makes you upset, you can be mad.
We actually
It's just okay.
We should be.
You should be. If you're in a situation where you should feel fear,
Right.
that fear serves you. If you have to get out of a situation, that fear changes your physical system so that you can run faster. It's okay to be in these states. It's just not good to be chronically in these states.
Right.
Ding, ding,
Right?
ding.
Or to hold those states, like you said, to feel them as trauma and then hold them as a state.
Yeah, like what is the natural thing that happens when an animal, a prey, gets attacked? They shake.
They shake. Correct.
And then they're like, there's no problem.
Correct. They
keep
shake
going.
all of that out of their system.
But we have been conditioned to stay still because it looks weird. You mentioned weird before.
Yes.
Like it looks weird to go like, you know, like if when I started doing that in my classes, it freaked out a lot of people.
Yep.
You know, and I was just like, yeah, why? Like just shake it. And then they started doing it and they felt so good.
Yep.
And now they're like, when new people come and they see that everybody else is doing it, they're like, oh, all right, I'll do it too.
And haven't we all been conditioned as little kids to stop doing that?
Even
That
think
is
about
not proper. As soon as you start school, line up, sit still, put your arms. My mother went to parochial school, Catholic school, and they had to sit with their arms like this for
No, they
hours.
didn't.
Oh, yeah,
No.
yeah. Not move, not talk for hours.
Oh, that's awful.
So talk about suppressing the nervous system, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then as we get older, how are we supposed to know what we're feeling?
Yeah.
And don't act weird. No matter what happens in life, don't be weird. So that the way to get the trauma or these uncomfortable feelings out of our nervous system is to shake them off.
Yeah.
Is to make noise
to,
and
like,
sound,
like,
right?
to actually let yourself look weird when you're trying to let a sound out or when you're trying to release your jaw by like sticking your tongue out. That actually
Makes me want to do it.
It releases the fascia
if you
when
let
you do that.
if you stay like that for like
Mhm.
I think I don't like the minimum probably like, you know, I don't know, 15 seconds, something shifts in the whole, you know, physiology,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that if we start to normalize these things, which is what I've been naturally drawn, you spoke about nature. And so what my work is about is to bring people in contact with the natural expression of who they are.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
every flower, every snowflake
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah.
It is still an expression of God, of the Tao, of whatever you want to call it. Yet it is uniquely expressing through your instrument.
Yeah. And I think that the more I write about that, the more I realize that I've been writing lately, and I've been when I wrote, you kind of shock yourself sometimes. And I realized I wrote that two people can have the same diagnosis, but the treatment might only work on one person, not on both. And I think that something that you started pointing to in that comment, the uniqueness, is that we're all so different. And whatever caused us to get out of balance or tie our feelings down or not be able to access our bodies is different for everybody. But it might come out as colitis, digestive issues, fear, you know, but it's a different, it's a different experience behind it, right?
Yes.
And so we cannot treat everyone the same.
Yes.
Right. And I think that's why it's so beautiful to have so many different types of access points, modalities, you know, because one thing we talk about a lot is the 3 pillars of health, which are sleep, movement, and nutrition. Right. And so here we are, like showing it in this way. And, you know, movement for me means lifting heavy shit. movement for you means shaking.
Mhm.
Movement for you means gentle yoga.
Gentle yoga.
Yeah. So it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and it probably goes back to our constitutions too, and about all of that good
Yes,
stuff. Like
yes.
there's so many. I mean, so many modalities come at it from so many different ways, and they're saying the same things. But really, naturalness is to gain a certain felt experience of yourself.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Like what is it to be me? What is it to be this expression of life? If you take all the conditioning out of it, all of the ideas that you've been taught, all the things that you've been told about who you are, and you start to feel who you are from a felt experience. And then to realize that to devote yourself to God or to be devotional or devoted to something isn't to go outside of yourself and
it's
pray
not.
to an outside entity that is disconnected from you, but rather to find that place that you came from and that is expressing itself through only you.
Exactly.
That's what I am devoting myself to.
You can feel the power in that
Yeah.
statement, can't you?
And if I devote myself to that, then I'm going to see that in every other being.
Yeah.
And then if I see that in every other being, if I see myself in every other being is namaste, that's what namaste is, then there's peace.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not on everybody's radar, and it's okay. Everybody's on their journey and their process.
Right.
So,
I agree. And something I love to do is try different things, and that's why I've enjoyed, being in your yoga teacher training. I got to experience and move the way you do. And I just think it's so cool to try and see, how does this feel in my body? How does that feel in me? If I eat this, how does it feel? If I move this way, how does it feel? If I sleep this way, how does it feel? Right? I did this fun test one time where I slept for 6 hours and it was too little. And then I slept for 8 hours and it was too much. I felt tired at both ends. And I realized that for me, 7 hours is absolutely perfect. It's like my ding, right? And I think that learning what's our body.
yeah, that's what your body wants, and that's what your technology. Like for sleep, like I had told myself, oh, I need to sleep for X amount of hours because that's what I was told. But then my body told you that it needed a certain amount or a 90-something percentage. I don't know how you got to it, but it freed me. It also freed me because I had been told that through blood work or whatever that I was sensitive to milk products, which I'm sure I was, but over the time that I've done my healing with the nutrition, my body probably got used to it again, and that test showed that I could do that. So it's like it freed certain things that, or what are the words? Conditioned beliefs.
Yes,
very much so.
Because like my body just answered it, and that's the only thing I need to listen to.
That is facts.
We don't need outside influence.
All our answers are inside us. We just have to access it.
Yeah. And it's like every body is going to tell you something else.
Oh, yes. Facts. I've been doing this for a long time. Every person is unique.
Yeah.
People will say to me, I have headaches. Like, what's the herb for that? What do you think's going on? I can't tell you that. Every person that has come to me, it's different causes, different herbs, different everything.
Right.
Because it depends on why they're suffering from that, right? And it's always different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
That's the most powerful thing.
Isn't it?
Isn't
To
it?
empower people with knowing and listening to their body, to listen to the language of their body.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
No wonder
it's the most empowering.
Yeah, like the powers that be don't want us to know that. Why? Because it doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell. No, it's freedom. It's liberty.
It doesn't sell.
Doesn't sell.
Why would? Then I'm not going to be scared of getting old. Then I'm not going to buy a shitload of nothing
Supplements.
products.
Yeah.
I'm not going to whatever. Everything has been commercialized.
everything.
And there's control.
Yeah.
If you can tap your own inner wisdom, nobody can tell you what to do anymore.
You don't stay
You don't
indoctrinated.
have to, you don't have to listen to that, nor have to like, even when you go to a doctor, like he or she can tell you what you should take, because I've been to a lot of doctors and I tell you the first thing they do is prescribe medication.
Right.
So even sometimes before they get the test, just in case.
Oh, wow. That's new.
So I'm just saying that there is something very powerful about tapping in and knowing what we need, but it doesn't sell. That's why it takes a lot of consciousness to discover.
And that's why we say clarity changes everything. Because didn't it change it for you?
Absolutely.
Right.
Everything.
And our bodies change. They don't stay the same.
Right.
Right? Like, yes, you were intolerant to dairy at one point. That doesn't mean it's forever.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And if we believe that about milk, what else do we believe that about?
Yeah. I mean, everything. I started to question literally everything at some point, and I thought I was going crazy.
Sure.
And then I was like, hey, it's actually really healthy to question everything.
Yes.
Because then,
yes.
Then I can find out the things that actually work and not fill my head with all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah.
That's what was driving me crazy.
Exactly. The not knowing. And the moment you know something, the moment your body relaxes and starts healing, right? Oh, like I had a client yesterday saying, like, I was telling my doctor, I think it's my liver. I think it's my liver. I think it's my liver. And then like you confirmed, yes, and.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love the yes, and, right? And just that knowing gives a person so much relaxation in their nervous system.
Well, it's
we know
it exactly. It's very
deep inside,
validating.
we know.
That's right. Because as soon as I start getting those answers, because I don't like to say, oh, this is what I'm getting. I say, okay, this is what I'm getting. How does that feel to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then it goes in and they go, and sometimes they say it's not resonating. And then we ask more questions.
Right.
Because we want their wisdom to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then they feel validated. Oh, I knew it was my liver.
Yeah.
Right.
And same with you. I think while you were doing your sessions, I remember a lot of communication.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
absolutely.
a lot of speaking. Like it's not body work, like where you're just
quiet,
quiet.
receiving.
Yeah.
I'm working with
it's
you.
so interactive. And you were using your intuition, but you were also were you feeling what I was feeling through your body?
Yeah. So it's called mirror touch synesthesia. So I literally feel in my body the mirror of you, right? And then you talk about sound a lot, and I'll do that a lot when I'm working on people to clear that. And see how you're yawning?
Wow.
That's because I yawn as well when I'm clearing.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will pick up on it. Yeah. Right. And so that's another like somatic experience as well. Sometimes I'll do it if the person isn't connected enough to their body yet. But sometimes they'll do it like for you, because you're so connected, you'll know when you're clearing something. You also said we don't necessarily have to know exactly what it is. But
no, you just need to attune to your body and allow the things that want to move through to move through. And the only way we can do that is if we are able to soften the body enough, and so that it can be open, so that it can like be permeable to receive the peace, to receive, the alchemy, to receive the healing.
I really love the word alchemy. I really do, because it is really the truest description of what we do. And it's not like woo alchemy. Alchemy means transformation. It means turning lead into gold.
Yeah, I would say transmutation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like the thing makes makes a third element.
Yeah.
The two things make a third element. It keeps within it the essence of it, and then also creates something new.
Exactly, because we have the challenge, and then we have like this new wisdom. And so you don't go back to the health that you had before. You're like actually ascended, which is what you're
Yes.
talking about, to this new health, this new level of who we are.
That's
So,
profound. That's
oh,
right.
this
That's
is so cool.
that's so profound.
So amazing. Yeah, absolutely. And you said, you know, that I talk a lot on the table, and I think it's like I mentioned, as I've been writing, it's because it's a co-creation. You know, you say, how does that feel in your body? I'll say, I'm picking up on this. Does that resonate? Does that, you know, like, and so it's really a partnership. It's such a partnership. in
Yeah,
healing.
and it's like you're so attuned to the emotion, especially since you also know about the emotion and you know where it's located. And you use those machines of yours also to place where, like you placed it on, and you worked on my jaw. Also, like it's just a very, it's like a beautiful marriage between like advanced technological knowledge and intuition.
Oh yes, that's the beauty of it, right there. You nailed it.
Right? Absolutely. And that's what I'm writing about as well. It's intuition and science. We don't have to separate them. Why? Why are we separating them? Like they go together.
Yeah, they go together. Yes.
And I can't hit it sometimes in my intuition. Sometimes there's this little hidden something. I can get so far.
Yeah.
And then you tap into the wisdom of the body, and it was like this.
And that goes back and forth. Sometimes I can pick up the emotion, and then they come to you, and then you take it deeper.
Right.
So,
yeah,
it's like you're speaking directly to my body.
yes.
It's kind of like Dima kind of gets out of the way.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I've got the information, body, now tell me where to go. And then you ask the prompt, and then I respond because I'm tuned in. But you also don't have to be that tuned in because you're tuned in and you're doing that mirroring thing.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So like someone doesn't have to like be so tuned in to go to you. Like they can still access all the things.
And so then we teach them how to tune in.
And which is even more empowering.
Exactly.
Because then they don't have to keep coming back to you.
Exactly. That's true.
It is
It's true.
And
but
then we
see,
don't- yeah.
and now
It's
we're
so
back
true.
to when that happens.
Yeah.
Where's the sale?
Right? We get
Right?
apologetic about it, right?
No, but I'm just thinking like how we were talking about. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, if you take away someone's power,
Oh,
you
I see what
can
you're
keep
saying.
selling them something.
I see.
But once
We're
you
not-
give them their power,
yeah.
right? Well, how are you going to keep selling?
Yeah.
Right? If they find their, so this is why there's a certain element that wants to take away that power.
Exactly.
Right?
And listen, I don't want to keep people with me forever because there's
No,
so many
doesn't
people
work that way.
need help.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
I mean.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
are
You
we are
know?
going to
Yeah.
we are going to receive, you know, the investment, energetic investments through other beings. So it's kind of like, okay,
Exactly.
here's the work. You've done the work. You've got what you need. Now let me focus on this. And this,
Yeah.
and then we're going
Yeah.
to spread it to so many more people.
Yes.
And then the others can come for like every few months
Yes.
for a check-in or
Exactly.
whatever.
We're human.
Yes.
We're not going to stay in perfect health forever. Man, would I like to?
Yeah.
But like stuff's going to come up because this
Yeah.
stuff is our teacher.
This
Yeah,
stuff is
yeah.
our teacher.
It's our
Correct.
teacher.
It's about just changing our perspective about how we look at healing, how we approach our bodies. You know, we have a lot of shame about a lot of things, how to approach shame, how to heal shame, you know, and then to be through our qualities of being in the world, to embody these things that we're putting out there in the world, right?
Yeah.
And then through that, simply by being myself, I am inviting and allowing and welcoming everybody to be their true expression.
Right.
100%.
You know, and
That's
same
all we
with you,
want.
and same with you.
Yeah.
And so
Yes,
authenticity,
yes.
authenticity is really what this new divine feminine consciousness wants. It wants authenticity. It wants
Yes.
gentleness. It is receptivity, communication, dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, nothing rigid, nothing so harsh anymore.
Yeah,
Doesn't
we
have-
need both structures, right? We
Yeah.
need to have structure so that we move forward in life, or else we're like, ooh.
This is me and you.
That's the
It
that's when there is like an
50-50.
imbalance in the feminine. Do you
Right.
see when there's an imbalance in the masculine, there's like this rigidity and over
That's
over
my shadow.
things.
It's my shadow.
Over things. When there's an
Yeah.
imbalance in the feminine, it's complete chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, and I've
Middle lane.
you know,
Lane.
like, let's just
Let's stay in the
and-
middle lane.
and then when we're doing this thing where we're bringing the two polarities together in the same space, what are we doing? We're finding that middle lane. When the alchemy happens, there's this, like what you described as this ever-moving constant that we can attune to. It's an ever-moving constant.
It is. Yeah.
And so even though it's ever-moving, there is something within it that's like pure awareness. I'm here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Pure awareness.
Absolutely.
So
Peace.
that's peace when it is unified, you know, between feminine and masculine energies.
Yeah. So one of the S's in your embodiment work is sound,
Mm-hmm.
and something that you've created that is just blew my mind is called sonic ascension.
Yeah. So Sonic Ascension was co-created with Patino Vasquez. He's a beautiful musician, multi-instrumentalist, and we were a great fit because he was so open to new ways of doing things, not stuck in any certain way. He was so receptive to talent, regardless of whether I had, you know, a lot of musical background or not. He was just very, what's the word? Authentic in his expression, and
He
was
really
able
is.
to recognize authentic expression. And then what happened is I was down, like these mantras were coming in, and I was chanting them in my classes, and I was learning more of them. And over time, I just had like a reservoir or a pool of actual mantras that were in my head. And I would just recite them as I'm driving. And over time, these tunes started to come with the specific mantra. And I'm like, oh, I need to find a partner musician to help me bring this to life. And over time, I mean, I looked around for a lot of different possibilities. And over time, I met Patino and at Fireseed. And it was just like the perfect match. And so I would bring the tunes as they would come to me in meditations, and I would record them on my voice memos, and then I would bring him the tune of the mantra, and then he would take it in and go inward within himself, and then this beauty of orchestration of beauty would come in, and it became a song. And their Sonic Ascension is a combination of 7 songs that are linked together by elements of nature, bird sounds that have been proven to really help the nervous system, and different other elements of nature. And these mantras are prayers for peace, for love, for connection between humans, for ascendance, and for embodiment. They're prayers, and they have specific vibrations because they are ancient. And the fact that they're ancient means that their vibration is deeply felt. And so when people listen to it, it helps bring them into that frequency of silence and presence that we spoke of, the field of presence that we spoke of. And that the songs themselves are just absolutely gorgeous. And the way that they move through the chakras. They start with the C note at the root, and they take you on a journey through the chakras towards the crown. And And now we're working on our next album, which is Sonic Embodiment, which is going to bring people from the crown all the way down into the chakras. And these songs and mantras are now coming in to be shared, coming in to be shared. And so, yeah, very exciting. And we have...
Is there a place where people can
Yeah, we have
get
it on
this?
YouTube.
You do?
We have it on
Great.
YouTube, and so
We'll link to
I'll
it.
give you the link to it.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
we just got it up actually yesterday.
Oh,
So
congratulations!
it's perfect.
Congratulations!
Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect
Oh,
timing.
Thank you for letting
Yeah.
us announce part of it here.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah. And then you're also writing a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
So
a process in and of itself.
yeah, I'd also love to hear about your book because
Yeah.
you mentioned it.
Yeah.
But the book that's coming through is a combination of images or memories or things that have struck me along the way that I understood life through. And I didn't realize that that was the case and that's how the book would come in. But the more I wrote, the more I understood this felt sense of being human, the felt sense of being, that deep connection with the infinite presence began as a child in specific moments. And at some point in my meditations, I started to touch that place and was able to remember and speak of it. And so the writing is again, I mentioned that my work is to create spaces where people can access directly their natural expression, their natural rhythm, their natural timing. And so the book is giving people the opportunity to access that through its readings, through the reading of the book.
And so will there be like journaling that'll go along with it?
No, it's not about teaching them how to do it. It's speaking about different things that have happened in my life through these imageries. And for example, I'll give you a very
Little sneak peek.
tangible. It's actually will make it in the book now because why not? But when I met you, Barbara, and when we were speaking and we were interacting and there was a moment when I said something about we discovered the emotion, and then I said, oh, you said, do you know where that comes from? Or do you inquired into it? And I said, yes. And your entire face lit up and your whole body posture like moved forward. And there was like this like authentic desire to know the truth.
Yeah.
To know the truth. And that's when right then and there I trusted you as a practitioner. Because
Thank
it was
you.
like the truth. You were interested in the truth
Yes.
that is coming through this body and
That's
this
correct.
expression.
Yes.
And it's like a moment that I will never forget that has like touched my heart in a certain tangible way. And when that embodied experience is felt, like there's true connection, there's true trust, there's, and so these are the things I want to speak of in the book, is these direct experiences of connection, of truth, of human to human. What do you mean? It's intimacy, really.
It is.
Yeah.
And what is intimacy?
It
It's
is.
intimacy, right?
Yeah.
And then as a result, project what I'm seeing within you. And so it's all beautiful, like the way it works. And that's kind of how the book is shaping up. We'll see how. I've only written the intro and the first chapter, so.
It's a hard
yeah.
thing to do, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Books take time.
Yeah, they take time. And,
Right.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Aw,
much.
thank you
so much for
Thank
being
you so
willing to come on the podcast and share in such a bigger plane of what you do. I think it's, as a practitioner, we share with one-on-one or a small class or something. This is a bigger platform. And thank you for being willing to put yourself out there in that way. And I love the story that you said, like, last week would have not been right. And the big shifts that you went through and how you were ready for it this week and how things just work out in the perfect timing.
Yeah, last week I would have come and been a different person because I hadn't fully embodied what I'm speaking of. And even though I have been doing a lot of this work for a very long time, something really like landed. And it's like a true embodiment because like it got like it's in this earth now through my body.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's huge. Thank you both for having me here, for giving me the opportunity to speak about my work. Thank you so much, Common Ground, for hosting us. Look at this beautiful
I mean, this
space.
place, if you have not been here, come. They have aerial yoga. They have DiMA. They have
incredible teachers.
Incredible teachers. Yeah, beautiful
who teach
space.
Here. Beautiful space. Very welcoming.
Very easy to get to.
Very easy to get to. The floors are cushy.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't hurt your knees. They're so open and hospitable and just wonderful place.
It's a great space.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear about your book.
Yeah. So this is what we were talking about before and how different people can be, because I like that yours is more flowy and more experiential, and because I'm so structured, it's shaping up to be so great. In the way that, and it's so nice to be able to say that about something that I'm doing, right? Like that's just like, it's amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
It gives so many analogies that explains the work that we do, right?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it gives so many analogies as to how frequency works, as to how our body interprets that frequency, so that it's no longer woo woo out there, but you can relate to it in a way that affects change. So in a way, it's also similar to yours, but in a more structured way. So I can't wait to get that out and get the woo-woo out and get
That's
the
beautiful.
understanding in.
And just one quick thing, you said, it's great to be able to say great about your work or whatever. We've been conditioned to be ashamed of like shining because it's like we've been told that it's boastful or egotistical. It's one thing when we're speaking from separateness, when we're speaking like, I'm better than you, or I'm better than this, or I'm worse than you, or whatever, when we are doing this like separate thing. But when we honor the direct expression of the divine, of love to move through us authentically, it is our duty to give it this space and to tell people about it so that they can benefit from it, so that it is our duty to give freely of that knowledge, and so I just wanted to honor that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's such a great distinction.
Yeah.
Huge. But now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do people find you? Do you have a website? Do you have a place? Okay, tell us about how to find you.
So I have a website. You can find more about my work at dimabosco.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, where I post a lot of the events and things that we're doing around the Metro West area, but also online. I have a women's group that is starting up soon. It's like a monthly membership.
And when does that start?
That starts the second Sunday of this coming month of July. And it has been starting. I've been doing cohorts, but now it's moving to a monthly membership. So July, you can find out more information on my website.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. Okay. We'll put that all in the show notes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome that we were able to be here today. And thank you for joining us as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification button so that you will know when we upload our next video, typically on Tuesdays. And we're also on Patreon, so you can go check out our content over there. We have downloadables and some classes, and so you might enjoy that. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.